morning so far, at least. And I got to make a call. See how this is going to play out. Well, I already know how it's going to play out because, let's see here.
Hello?
Hey, how are you doing today? It's Mr. Travis.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you? This is Rob with Long
Good.
Reputation.
Oh, okay. Hey, Rob.
Hey, I was just touching base with you. Was giving it some thought this weekend about your project that you wanted to schedule with us.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um, I think we're possibly going to have to pass on this one. It's just not the way our business is set up. We've been doing it a specific way over the last 6 years, and we haven't kind of derailed from the plan of how we actually accept new clients when it comes to projects of that size.
Now, what do you mean it's not in your,
So
I guess
with
I
the
don't understand.
I'm sorry, with the deposit payment, we was having some issues there. We typically do a 50% deposit. We do the project and we get paid at the end of the project. We haven't changed that in over 6 years. So I talk with my team. They're like, well, why would you change it? For somebody just coming on. I was like, you're right. Let me just stick to what's been working because we haven't changed that process and it's been working well for us. So for that reason, they're like, don't change it because it affects us. As soon as we take on a project, we're making expenses for our material costs, etc. And what if the day of the project they say, hey, well, we changed our mind. Now we got restock fees or we got all this material that we have to hold on to. So we can't put ourselves in that position again. We've done that before.
Yeah, I understand. I understand where you're coming from there. Is there any way we can get around this thing? Because, I guess I want my yard done, and everything. So,
Maybe I think I don't know if other companies operate like that, but it's just not the way we're set up. We're not set up to take on large projects and forward out all of the expenses ahead of time. We usually have our clients who are booking the project basically cover the material costs, etc. at the beginning stages. That's what secures the project.
all right.
I don't want to put you in a position where you're uncomfortable as well. So if it's not the norm for you, I understand. But it's just
Well,
for for for,
I
for our
just want my
company.
yard done. It's what I want, and um, so I mean, do you have references or someone that you're doing their place right now, and I can get a reference from them or something like that, or
You said a reference? Are you like you're saying like
yeah,
do I
like
have another company refer or like projects that
no,
I've
no, no,
completed?
no, 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 like someone you've done something for that I can call and ask them, if y'all are on the up and up and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. I prefer not to give out their information. Like for them to call, I guess. But I do have projects. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, I have plenty of referrals. I probably can reach out to some and have them reach out to you. But I don't want you to
Well, if you can,
overextend. I don't want you to overextend if you're uncomfortable with it off top, because I feel like
I'm
that's
I'm not overextending. I just want to make sure that when I pay someone $9,000 that they're going to show up. You know what I mean?
gotcha. And you haven't seen any reviews or anything about my company online?
Um, I guess I have not looked up anything under
Well,
Google or
if
anything
if
like
there's
that.
if you look up the company, out of all the companies, you can add all their reviews together. I got more reviews than all of them. I do a lot of work, and they're honest people, honest reviews. There's nothing fabricated about it. I do a lot of work, and I'm not a volume-based business. I don't know how to, validate and say, hey, I'm this great person, because it's all at the end of the day, it's it's all lip service until I actually show up and show you what I do.
Right.
But so I don't know how to, make you feel, secure. But I could reach out to a few clients and see if they don't mind reaching out to you. But in the same token, I don't want you to feel like you're overextending, have to go reach beyond to find out about my company to work with me. I just, it's a trust factor there.
Yeah, I do. I understand that, and there's just a whole lot of trust with $9,000 kind of thing.
Yeah, I completely understand. How about this? You can possibly check and see if you can find any other company that would even do that. Like, see if they would actually allow you to pay them at the end, and let me know, because that's a big pill to swallow, especially as a small business. I'm not one of these $1 million companies that do just total big projects. I'm a small business, so it's a little bit more complex for me. Any big risk we take to spend $7,000 on material costs, etc., we got to eat that. If you say, hey, well, I don't want to do it anymore. You know what I mean? I've done that before, and I know what it feels like, and I couldn't retract. It happened, and I couldn't hit a rewind button.
Yeah, I actually have been in those shoes myself. I really have. I tell you what, why don't you, let me look up some reviews, and just so I can feel comfortable with it and all that. I do want you. I'm just trying to do my due diligence too.
I completely understand. If I was doing that, I probably would do my due diligence as well.
Yeah. Okay, Rob. So I'll give you a call back in a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, you're seeing how that went. My boy, he wants some references. He want me to give him some of my clients who've I've done bigger projects. I don't know how I feel about that. Should I just reach out to my clients and say, hey, I'm trying to land this 18K job, 19K job. I need you to give them some positive like, no. Like, my clients are my clients. They should have their piece. I shouldn't be trying to bother them for, to be a reference like that. No, look me up, and whatever you see. Matter of fact, call any other company and see if they'll do it. See if they'll come over to your property, measure it out, give you an estimate in the timeline that I gave it. I came over there, I visited the property. The next day, I sent you your estimate. The next morning, you called me. Nobody ain't doing it that efficient. And then go look me up. See what they say about me online. See what all those 150 reviews say. Then get at me. Because they ain't finna have me out here overextending, spending $7,000 on expenses for a sod and all this stuff, and just for you to back out because you told me you're gonna pay me at the end. The cons of that is, if you decide to pay me at the end, I'm not trying to, beg and plead or dot every T when it comes to, you asking for additional stuff to be done just so you can pay me. I'm not going through that. I don't have issues with getting money from customers. It's people that spend way more money than what he's talking about without blinking an eye. They paying full. So I feel like it's more so of a trust thing that he got going on. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. He can do his due diligence, though. He can do his due diligence. And if he feel as if I'm the right provider, cool, we can roll with it. But at the initial part of this call, I told him, I said, hey, I did some thinking over the weekend after we talked, Friday, and I did come to a decision that we're going to have to pass on moving forward with doing your project. He pass? Like, bro, I'm spending 18K. You want to pass? Yeah, I want to pass, because I can do 2-3 projects and make the same amount of money. Why go through the headache of a large ticket when you feel like you're overextending? You said a few things when I was on the property talking to him. He said, one dude tried to retire off me, tried to charge 50K. He's going to put irrigation here, everything about 50K. I said, that's crazy. Like, I don't know if he was just talking just to say that, just to bracket, because people say stuff while they're in person with you to try to bracket price to say, oh, if I'm telling him 50K is way too high, hopefully he don't go that high and try to be lesser than that. But me, I'm gonna shoot my price wherever it need to be. I ended up around 20K, right around 18 something, and this is basically for irrigation and sod installation. But yeah, he ain't finna put me through that ringer. Not happening. Not happening. And then it's just too many cons with it. Too many cons of taking on a large project without getting a deposit paid. Let me know your thoughts on that. Would you take on a 20K project when you know off top it's going to cost you in labor, it's going to cost you in expenses, all this preparation to get to the project? That's a risk you taking if you don't have the money secured. Secured to me is put a deposit down. I want to know that you're serious. You ain't just curious and you just fishing to get something done. I feel like that'll be me going out on a limb just trusting him. Like, that's a two-way relationship. Like, you want me to trust you to pay me at the end, but you won't trust me to even put a deposit down. I'm not asking you to. You say, I just want to make sure you show up. Like, bruh, I hear you and all, but do your due diligence and get back at me, because I'm no longer interested, to be honest. I feel like I'm trying to figure out a way to shell him off. I want to find a company that I can refer him to, but I won't refer him to nobody that I like or know. I won't refer him to nobody I like or know. No, I won't. Because I wouldn't want them dealing with the same headache that I'm dealing with. And I wouldn't want them to get put in a position of somebody trying to take advantage of them, or if this dude happened to be some type of scammer or whatever. Let me see. Oh, no, that ain't him texting. But, yeah, I figured I'd share that call because I've been anticipating calling him today, and it almost slipped my mind. It almost slipped my mind. He said, I'm confused. Well, I said, well, your deposit, you want to pay us at the end, and I don't think that'll be a good fit for us, that we haven't been doing that for years. So why start now? Just because you? No, we good on that. We good on that. So I said that to say, y'all, don't put yourself in a position where you can lose money. I lost money. I told y'all. What in the world? What's she sending me out? What is this woman doing? Yeah. But yeah, y'all. I ain't gonna put myself in a position where I'm taking no L. I'm good on that. The lesson is to repeat it until the lesson is learned. If I would have just bent and said, know what, we could do a because I almost got there. I almost like, know what, it's 9K. It is a little price, but it's people that don't put larger deposits down than that. So I'm not gonna let him dictate how I operate the business. Can't let the tail wag the dog, y'all. I almost bent though, because I told him, when I talked to him on Friday, I was like, well, maybe we can do a progress payment. Maybe when I get to the site, day one, you put down a deposit, and day two, you put down a mid-project. Like, no, I ain't. That's dumb. It's dumb, and I'm not doing it. It's dumb, and I'm not doing it. If you ain't got the money to pay for the project, don't call me. Don't call me if you want something from me, and you know it costs almost $20,000, and you want me to overextend myself. That ain't happening. It's too much risk there. I say I'm a small business. I ain't no big company. Not a big company. I'm not no $1 million company that can just fork out all. No. We ain't doing that. You right, Billy. I ain't doing it, Billy. It ain't happening. He trying to get my money on. At the end of the day, I'll be putting money out there and I can take an L. I ain't gonna take that risk. I just feel like he can be a problemsome just hearing the context of the conversation. Like, bro, yeah, you're not my ideal customer. My ideal customer, not to say they don't trip about money and they don't do their due diligence, but he seemed like once he seen me, once I walked this property, I don't have this happen too. I talk to people over the phone, and I get to a property, I walk the property, I talk to them, estimate it with them, and then they come with all the messages like, well, can you do this? Like, they not to say they try to negotiate. I feel like they don't try to do that until they figure out who I am. They figure out who I am. Now they want this, that, and the third. Like, where they do that at? Like, you ain't gonna ask, John Paul, Paul Senior, whatever his name is. You ain't gonna ask him for that. So don't do it to me. They be thinking they can devalue the service so they don't have to pay as much because it's just this person. Nah, it's cool though. I set up my barriers, and I'm glad I just had that conversation with him though, because I feel good to be able to decline a project just because it's a big ticket. Don't mean I'm finna hooray jump and put myself in a position, because that big ticket, boy, I'm telling you, I just went through one. We had one for $14K, and it was a decent project, and it gave me way more headache than I deserved. I didn't deserve all that headache that I got after that project. It was insane. So I was like, man, just because it's large ticket don't mean I should be trying to put it on the schedule. Do my due diligence, pace myself, don't get too excited, because at the end of the day, this can be more problem than I want. What in the world? My neighbor keep texting me, y'all. But I'm gonna get going, y'all. I just wanted to have that conversation because I knew I had to reach out to old boy, because I wanted to get ahead of the what in the world? My cuss or something like this, or did the back one? Oh boy, my neighbor, she keep texting me. She texting about her grass. I just put down some Xeon Zorgia in the backyard this morning, but she is texting away. But I'm gonna get going, y'all. I just wanted to have that conversation on here because old boy was trying to play, and I ain't got time to play. I need my paper. I got a family to feed.